Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug. I challenged myself for 2023 to make a junk journal each month and decorate it throughout the month. And this is going to be August's journal. So, I'm going to dive right in. So far, all of these journals have been made with a paper shopping bag, and I'm going to keep that going throughout the entirety of this series. But there are many other ways to make junk journals, so don't feel like you have to limit yourself in any way. So this will be the cover of my journal, just like with all the other ones. I have a piece of letter size copy paper folded in half because that is going to be the biggest size of the paper I will be using in this journal. So I will figure out my margins, how big I want my book to be. Let's go with, I'm going to make it a little bit more technical. How about that? That's about 1 centimeter. Yep. Let's go with 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter. It's a little over 1 centimeter, that's fine. And I will fold this in half. Okay. That needs to go here. That will be my other. Really? What's that? Oh, because of the M. Alright, that'll work. So then, let's measure 1 centimeter from here. Okay. 1 centimeter from here. And 1 centimeter from here. Trying to give myself some margins to cut within. Now I've got to cover it in fabric. So I figured out the fabric. I'm going with this. The theme of this journal is going to be sunflowers. So, because this fabric has a white background, I need to prime this, which will be done using white acrylic paint and a foam brush. Just going to use some apple barrel. We're going to let that dry. I did a second coat of white paint on the cover after the first one had dried, and then I have applied a coat of Yes Paste, which is what I like to use to adhere the fabric to my journal cover. And so here we go. I just start in the center. Now I just gotta let that dry. Okay, I have trimmed the fabric on the other side. It's sticking. I trimmed the fabric just a little closer. I'm not going to fold it over like I've done in some of the other journals. I'm just going to fray the edges. And I spread some more Yes Paste all over this. But before I put down the next fabric, I have these little guys that I want to use for handles, or not handles, to make a closure for the journal. These were just some fabric strips that I found at the Dollar Tree in a pack of various types, and I just sewed them so that they would be one piece. And I'm going to affix them about halfway so that the part where I began and ended sewing is in the underneath the fabric. going to spread a little bit more Yes paste just on these. And then the fabric I'm going to use for inside is this beautiful paisley. So that is my inner cover. It needs to dry. That is my outer cover. That's going to be super cute. Oh yeah, that's going to be adorable. Cool. So, I need to let this dry. When it is dry, I'm going to trim the inner fabric to meet up with the outer fabric and sew around the edges. All right, while the cover dries, I've played around with a few things for signatures. I decided this is going to be sunflower and bee themed. So, I have a few pieces of tea-dyed paper. I just folded in half, 4 of those. Here I have I got a book called 100 Flowers, and I ripped out a couple of giant sunflower photographs. This one actually has sunflower here and here. Thought it was fun that part of the page is gonna have the stem going sideways versus folding it this way. So I have those, and then here, this was a piece of scrapbook paper, and I just folded this part up. I will sew along it to make pockets once I've decided how to decorate this side. I just decided to fold it for now. These aren't going into the signature at the moment. They're going to get some decorating, some jelly plating, some jelly printing, oxide sprays, etc. But this is going to be pockets. Here's another piece of scrapbook paper I just cut down. Again, I want to decorate this side. This is a piece of scrapbook paper, scrap. I just folded it in half, trimmed it to fit. The colors work for me. This is going to be a lot of browns and yellows and golden colors. I have, this is a paper bag that will be folded in half. I'm going to open up this side, and then it'll get sewn in and be a pocket on both sides. This is going to be what I call a special element. One of those will go in one signature, and then this doily I'm going to fold in half and sew into the signature. Once I decorate it, I have an idea for this. But that's the second special element. I have this little scrap of scrapbook paper. It needs to be decorated inside. And then I have this little scrap of scrapbooking paper. It was just too cute. Even though it's not sunflowers or bees, it's still, you know, kind of fitting, and not, you know, I might cover it up. When I folded this over, I will sew and make it a side tuck spot. But again, I want to decorate the inside. So, I've got some decorating to do. I will not mess with these at all. Those are ready as they are. These will get something. I'm not sure what yet. But these I do want to jelly plate the backs of, or something. Something. This guy's going to stay as it is as well. But you, something about you. I got a plan for this. And it is called Distress Oxide Sprays. I want this to look like a sunflower. Alright, and then around the outside, I've got some mustard yellow, some wild honey, and maybe a little carved pumpkin. Alright, gonna let that dry fully. Although I have to point out, I've got something really cool on this paper now. So that needs to dry. Alright, for this one, I have decided I want to use my brayer. And these two colors, I've got King's Gold and Bright Yellow. And I'm just gonna bray some colors on there. Brayer some colors. And for this, I'm going to use more of the King's Gold. I'm just going to bray some more color. Cute. That needs to dry. Alright, this paper, I'm going to add some greens on the back of. I've got this leaf green. Got a little paint on the edges, but that's okay. We're gonna let that one dry. This paper. This one. That was all of the ones I wanted to bray on. Decided against doing a jelly plate this time. This was kind of fun and quicker. Alright, those pages that I used the brayer on have dried. This one, I have something in particular in mind. I have this stencil, and yeah, that's perfect. I want to stencil this flower on it. Question is, do I want to make it all brown? Yeah, why not? I have this espresso colored paint. Yes. I love that. Awesome. This one, I think, I have this. It's a repeated pattern of this flower. And I think I want it right here. Okay. Cute. Kind of wish I had done the orange for this one too. Too late. It's fine. It's fine. Cute. While this stencil was still wet, I laid it down and did a stencil negative here. Just rubbed it really good. And I'm quite pleased with that, actually. And then maybe I'll just leave that one there. Or I could do another one. Okay. That's really cute. Okay, that needs to dry. And then I have another one. I want to spray. Watch out. I'm going to use some Distress Oxide inks, or I'm going to use some Distress Oxide sprays. See how that gets me. All right. And then let's lay this down. can always put a pocket over that if I don't like it. Oh, yay! Cool. Another page that needs to dry. And then this one, since the theme of this journal is sunflowers and bees, I also decided to decorate some of these tea-dyed pages. I have this kind of hexagonal print. This is from when you buy a board game and all the pieces need to be punched out. That's what this is, and I decided to keep it as a stencil. Thought it would be a cool stencil. So let me clear this stuff out of the way. Gave it a little bit of honeycomb pattern. I like the back too. Oh, cool. And then on this side, maybe just a line of them. Okay, I like that. Oops, I stuck my hand in wet. Okay, cool. And then I have one more. Let's see. And then I have some a couple of bee stencils there, and then these kitty stencils. And I think this deserves some bees. Oh, his little leg got messed up. That's all right. I will, however, put the negative on here, which is beautiful. This is going to be an amazing page. I should probably go ahead and rip it down. That needs to dry. And then this. Wonderful. Awesome, we have an extra page. So, cool. I want to put some more bees around. I think that is good. All my pages are ready to become signatures. I now have 14 total pages, so it'll be 7 in each signature. And here's what we've got. This guy with the negative, bees on the inside, that, this, that, honeycomb. I have these two, which I've already shown. There have been no changes made to that. This, no changes since you last saw it. This is now dry, and I absolutely love it. I can't wait to sew it in to a signature. This I ended up working on while decorating pages, and I think it turned out awesome. Yeah, I really like this a lot. And that's the back of it. That could be a centerpiece, honestly. And this guy looks like that. I went ahead and sewed this little tuck spot. This one looks like that inside. I sewed this one as well. My little pockets. I love this actually. I really love this. This one is very dark inside, but I could probably brighten it up with some goodies. And then this one is like that. Cool. So those are my pages. Let's put together some signatures. I do kind of like the idea of this being in the center of a signature. Let's see what we got going on here. I could do that. Let's fold it this way. And that could be a center. I could potentially glue some of it down for a tuck spot. Yeah, I like that for the center of one of the signatures. And then I think this is another really awesome center of a signature. Okay, so those will be my two centers. Let's clamp them together like this. And then I want to distress the edges. So I want to distress the edges of the pages a little bit. This one is very dark, but I think it'll be all right. So what I want to do is I'm going to take Forest Moss and Vintage Photo Distress Oxide inks. Oops. And I'm going to just kind of rub it on the edges. Maybe a little in. Then I'm going to take a spray bottle of water and spritz. Okay. I do need to be careful because some of these were oxide inks and they will run a bit. Things like this. Alright, and while that's wet, I'm going to take some oxide spray and just alright, that was the walnut stain. Let's take a little carved pumpkin. I think that's good. I'm going to dry these a little bit. Alright, I dried these a little bit, but they are still very wet. I'm going to let them dry naturally. And we'll see what kind of goodies have happened. Kind of awesome things have occurred to these pages. So I'm going to let these dry and we'll be back. Alright, my signatures have dried. They are delightfully grungy. And upon seeing them all dried, I went, this is not at all grungy. Maybe I should do something about that. So, I've decided to give the cover a similar treatment as I did the pages. So, I'm actually going to take a little frayed burlap and go around the edges. And maybe let's take just a little bit of walnut stain. And I don't want to spritz it. I just want to that is sufficiently grungy enough. This has dried. I absolutely love how grungy it is now. I think it fits the signatures a little bit better since they are so grungy. Now, what I have done is I am preparing to poke holes so that I can sew in the signatures to the journal itself. And I went through and it shifted all of these pages. I made sure they were where I wanted them within the signature, you know, oriented, etc. And I've got them all pushed into the crease. I have this template. If you've seen me make any of my other journals, you've seen this template before. It is the height of the tallest page and features 5 holes at equally spaced areas, and I am going to use it to poke holes in my signatures into the crease. And that signature is ready to be sewn in. Now I have to poke holes in here. In order to do that, I gotta find the center. Alright, there we go. Poke some holes. And for this, I will poke both lines of holes. My holes are poked. Template can go away until next time I need it. So my holes are poked. Now I'm going to use this cream colored thread. It's embroidery floss. I want to make sure it is at least 3 times the length of my journal so that I have enough. Yep. I'm going to use all 6 strands. Perfect, because I have exactly 2 strands of this. Thread my needle. Alright, and then I think this will be the second signature. I think I'll start at the bottom and weave my way up and then back down. So I want to make sure I get my hole in the right hole. I want to go from the top. Alright, leave a little tail, use some masking tape. And then I'm just going to go up to the next hole. And through. Come on. Alright, so I've gone all the way up and I just need to go back through those holes. So I've gone all the way up. Now I just need to come back down, alternating the holes like I did on the way up, but making sure I don't pierce the thread that was already in the hole. So for instance, here, finding that other hole. And then I make sure everything is nice and tight. And pull up my end. Pull it tight. Everything is nice and tight. And then I'm just going to tie this down here. One more time for good measure. And then trim. So that is tied. Now I'm going to sew in the second signature, well, the first signature. So that is all sewn in and the knot is tied off. I'm going to sew in the other signature off camera in the exact same fashion. My signatures are sewn in. Let's have a little flip through. Okay, now back to the cover. I want to hide these, and I think I will do that with a little bit of burlap ribbon. I will use some Fabric Fusion to glue it down. That needs to dry. And then we will see what it looks like. Ooh, you know what? I don't think that's going to be grungy enough. Let's add a little bit before I do anything, before it dries. Let's add some of this walnut stain. Let's do it in a spray. There. I'm going to let that dry, and we'll be back to see what the cover looks like. My spine is dry now, and there we have it. The August journal is complete and ready for decorating. I can't wait to get started in here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the making of this journal, and hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.